Thank you so much for joining us, Warrick. I know you're very busy. It's been one of those moments that we've all been living for, and now it's officially here. Amazon has opened its doors in South Africa. It's the first in the sub-Saharan African region, so it's quite a big moment. Tell us a little bit more. Is the excitement in the air from e-commerce business owners, or is it a bit more nervousness?
Yeah, I was about to say it's a bit of fear and a bit of people asking like, geez, how are we ever going to compete now with this new behemoth? Like the biggest online seller in the world is now in our country. Like, what does that mean for us? Is it a threat? Is it an opportunity? What do we do? But the first thing that I kind of encourage people to recognize is that this completely reinforces the fact that the growth of e-commerce in South Africa is still immense. Like if Amazon didn't recognize that the current 5% of GDP, which was taking place online, is going to grow in similar veins to the UK, to Australia, to America, where you're looking at 20, 25, 30% of total GDP happening online. Like we're at 5%. And the biggest realization from Amazon opening their doors here in South Africa is that that there is still exponential growth yet to come. So the bigger question, or the better question, is asking like, well, how do we get our piece of that? Because do we continue selling on our own store, and trying to fight against the biggest players, or jump on the bandwagon, list on the marketplace and sell through them? Do we do both? Like, what is the right angle? And that's what we've been trying to speak to people about through the last couple of days since Amazon's store did go live here in South Africa.
So I was speaking to another e-commerce expert the other day, and someone was saying that this could actually start raising the bar for e-commerce in this region. All of a sudden, and not only in this region, but also, in Australia and in America, where Amazon is focusing, we know for the last 3-4 years, they've been focusing really hard on fast deliveries. And so if they are upping their game and, most of their parcels will arrive same day or next day, it means that customers are going to get so used to it, and they no longer want to say, let's say if you order something, it's not going to be okay if it takes 3 days, even if it's a big company. And that's a problem. So do you think that this is going to up the game? People in this industry will need to up their standards. It's going to be difficult, right?
So I think over the past decade and a half, 2 decades, since e-commerce has really kicked off, everybody has been continually upping their game in terms of offering better customer service, delivering, having better websites that display their branding better and give the customers better user experience. We're fine-tuning every little point. In fact, Jack Ma, a while ago, he was speaking at the UN, and he said, if you think about how far e-commerce has come in the last 2 decades, where you go back 2 decades, and back then, you almost needed a rocket science degree to be able to build and launch a website. Now it's so much easier. Like you can do it in hours. To take payments online 20 years ago was really difficult. In fact, my first website, it took me 3 months where my site had to be vetted by Visa and MasterCard separately before I was able to take credit card payments on my site. Now, new users can build and launch a site with payments like super, super quick. And deliveries also. You go back 20 years and deliveries was really difficult. Like to be able to get a courier to come and pick it up from your house or your offices and to deliver within a decent time frame to a customer, that was a real, it didn't really happen that easily and smoothly. And there was no integrations and a lot of paperwork, and you wrote the address wrong and it all went haywire and you just didn't know. But what Jack Ma was saying is like, people need to recognize how far e-commerce has come and where we are right now. And really, we're on the springboard now. Like the growth is coming. Like we're on the precipice of the massive growth of e-commerce, specifically in sub-Saharan Africa, but all around the world where the growth levels have just gone up. Like China, they're looking at nearly edging up in 50% of all retail happening through e-commerce. That is insane. And so the growth is coming. And for sellers, yes, they have to adjust. They've adjusted over the last 2 decades to get to where we are right now. And now they need to start upping the ante. Like competition is good because it forces sellers to be better in every aspect, to be better at their digital marketing, to offer better customer service, to be more competitive with their prices. And at the same time, competition sometimes does bring down the price, which is good for consumers. And if people are saying like competition is bad, it's not. It's good. It forces us to up our game. For sellers who are saying, can I compete? they can, if they do it smart and if they work smart and if they do things that I've been teaching my students at Insaka to do for years and years.
I want to throw in Shein and Temu. I mean, what does that mean? We know that Amazon is concentrating specifically on fast deliveries, and the other two are concentrating on, more affordable prices. How do you see this play out, especially in an area here in South Africa where people also want, better deals? What does that mean for Amazon? Because Temu and Shein are already here, and it's already known among the customers. Amazon is a trusted brand, but how do you see that dynamic play out?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. And when I sat with the head of Amazon South Africa 2 weeks ago, the first thing he asked me was, "What do I think about Temu?" So it's on their radar too, and they are also being very conscious of consumer demand and what consumers want. And a low price is very appealing. A slow delivery time from China to Southern Africa is not appealing, but if the price is low enough, people are willing to wait those extra days. So it's an interesting dynamic in terms of the number of people who have very quickly started shopping on Temu. And in my opinion, I think that it's only just getting started. I think the problem is going to get far worse before it gets better. And there's a few angles to that. And when I say worse, I mean worse in the mind of online sellers, because there are many online sellers. I have a community on a Facebook group with 40,000 members thereabouts. And most of the commentary, a lot of the discussions right now is around Temu eating people's lunch. It is really affecting people. Like, people who are selling generic products, now the consumers can buy it on Temu for a fraction of the price. And ad spend is through the roof, no matter whether you're selling products that Temu sells or not. Like, ad spend is just up because of the amount of money that they're throwing into the ecosystem. So everybody is feeling the pain of Temu. Now, since Amazon arrived, the discussion is slightly changing to say, well, now I can list my products on Amazon, and that actually gives me an avenue to reach more and more customers through a trusted source. So it's a bit of a silver lining to the cloud that has been kind of casting a shadow over e-commerce over the past few weeks. But I do think that the problem is just getting started with Temu, because the customers, the consumers who have been first to start shopping on Temu and Shein are often, they are the early adopters. They're the ones that are a bit bolder and willing to trust putting their credit card into a website that's owned by somebody overseas and trusting that product will arrive. And those early movers are the ones that are shopping now. But more and more customers and consumers are seeing that their friends are now actually receiving orders. Like, this isn't a scam, that it does work. And if you have to send something back, yes, I'll collect it and I'll take it back. I don't know what they do. I don't know how they make money doing that. But possibly they aren't interested in making money, just growing a database for now. But the fact is that that more and more consumers are going to start shopping on on Temu. And the problem is going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah. And in the short term, I spoke to the head of Takealot and the head of marketplace at Takealot, and he was saying that that they haven't really felt the impact of Temu yet. But I think that customers who are shopping on local trusted websites are still the customers who are looking to the trusted sources to be able to buy. They're willing to pay a higher price just to be able to get it quick and to know that they are dealing with somebody that they've shopped with many times before. But they may also feel the temptation to say, well, I'm looking at this product here that I can get it a third of the price over there. Like, maybe I should go over there. Sure. So I feel that the impact is going to get worse before it gets better. And the way for it to get better is for government to step in and to close the loopholes that are being used to be able to get products through customs in a way that is legitimate for now, but is an abuse of the system, so that consumers buying off these websites are not paying the fees that might be paid by somebody else buying off a different site.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think this is not only a South African or Sub-Saharan Africa problem. This is going to be a global problem. I mean, we read so many articles and we see so many e-commerce companies saying, that they are worried about Temu. But something that I do want to throw in here into the mix, return logistics is so important. It's something that Amazon, which is like a veteran in this game, they've been doing it spot on. It's easy for them to do it. How would you rate Shein and Temu's return logistics?
Yeah, I mean, the downfall of most e-commerce companies is reverse logistics. It's like, how do you bring products back in a way that doesn't eat all the profit that you made off all your sales? And I don't know how they're doing it in a way that is profitable. In fact, I don't know how they're getting products to their customers in a way that's profitable. But what we do know that they have is very deep pockets. And it would be my assumption that they are not interested in making a profit straight away, but rather building their database and building data on the customers within their database, which is so valuable. Once you've got the customers who are buying again and again, then the lifetime value of that customer covers the cost of acquisition that you put into the marketing. And they put a lot of money into marketing, so they would have to get those customers to buy many times in the future before they start seeing a profit. But that's not a new strategy. Many companies, some of the biggest online retailers in the world, in fact, many retailers for that matter, have followed the same strategy. Like, in the first few years, don't worry about turning a profit. Worry about building a consumer database, carve out your portion of the market share. And then once you've got them in your database and they're buying from you regularly and you are the trusted source that they go to, then you can reduce your spend on advertising, and you can optimize the rest of your business, and you can start to look at profit there. We've seen that with Takealot Group, where many people incorrectly say that the Takealot website, which is the biggest current marketplace in Southern Africa, many people say Takealot hasn't turned a profit yet, which is true and it's not true, because the Takealot Group, which also owns logistics companies and a clothing company, Superbalist, the Takealot Group is not profitable, but Takealot.com, the online marketplace, the retail itself, they are profitable, and they have been for a number of years now. So they went through that phase, that journey themselves, where they were throwing loads of money at marketing. They were expanding rapidly, building warehouses, investing in their logistics teams. And now they, as a business unit, are profitable. And it's good for them that they've reached that stage before now this biggest competitor in the world has opened their doors on their doorstep. And it's going to be interesting to see how the next few years plays out.
Absolutely. Any advice that you have, for people, for other countries actually, learning from what Amazon is doing and expanding, growing to beyond, the US market, the Australian market?
Yeah, so I mean, it's early days. Like the Amazon store has really just opened up, so we're seeing how the impact really plays out. But my advice is to anybody who is a seller. Like I deal with hundreds of thousands of sellers. So my advice has been over the last few months is get ready to embrace the opportunity from the very first day, because there's a very special thing that happens with the Amazon algorithm of how products are ranked is a massive secret, but it's no secret to see that products that have sold more in the past are listed higher. Amazon, much like Google, how Google's job really is to serve the browser of Google with the correct and the best solution to the search query as quickly as possible. And that's really like the way that Google's algorithm is, like that's the best way to explain it. And in a similar way, Amazon is trying to show the best product to their consumer who's searching for a product on their site. And so any product that has sold a lot of units in the past will show higher, because by the nature of it having lots of sales, which is referred to as sales velocity, it will have a higher organic listing on the platform. And that higher organic listing on the platform, on the store, means that there's more visibility for future customers, which means that you'll get more sales in the future. And you add that together with the element of reviews, where products that have lots of reviews, hopefully positive ones, will also rank higher. And so my advice to sellers in Southern Africa, anybody abroad looking to list on the South African marketplace, or anybody looking at Amazon's next future rollouts into different territories, is be ready to take advantage of the opportunity from day one. Because when you get sales and you've got that very first sale on day one, now your product starts to rank higher in the listings, which means that you're going to get more sales. You can also start giving yourself the opportunity to garnish and gather reviews, which also helps to get you more sales. And those two things together, the sales velocity together with more reviews, means that your listing is going to be higher and higher and higher. And just being ready at day one means that you get to take advantage of the snowball effect of that, whereby your competitors who list on day 2 or week 2 or month 2, they are going to really struggle to catch up to you just because you're ready from day one. So that's my advice, is be ready to take hold of this opportunity with both hands.
Sure, that's fascinating. Thank you so much for this. It's really helpful. I think this is going to help e-commerce businesses. It's going to help online shoppers, and just everybody. It's a new territory that everybody's walking in. But thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mia.